These are the views from the back. In today's video, we're gonna try and figure out if you have curly hair. I am just about to get into the shower, but I thought, let me show you guys how my curly hair can sometimes look if I have not put any hair products in the wash before, if I've just kept it in a really tight braid. Because honestly, sometimes when you have curly hair, it actually just looks frizzy in its very natural state. So this is its state. The waves that are formed are literally just because I put it in two braids. I mean, there is some curls, but as you can see, like the ends look really kind of straight, wavy straight. This is very misleading, I would say, because this is not how my hair looks like when I style it. I don't even know how to explain a type of look. Frizz isn't bad, but this isn't anything. I kind of want it to be cohesive. Like you have some little curls poking out through here, you have some frizz here, there's no definition around the face. If you see my hair right now and you think, oh, this is kind of how my hair looks like usually, but I don't actually think I have wavy or curly hair, give me a second because I might be convincing you otherwise. Okay, so I just came out of the shower, my hair is in my turban, I took some time to do my makeup, so my hair is quite dry already, I can feel it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how it looks, if it's puffy, if it's frizzy, if it's forming any waves or curls, and what step by step I do to ensure that my hair actually forms the curls that it can form, so that it kind of looks as its curliest, that it reaches its full potential. It's quite wet actually because it absorbed a lot of water. So this is how the ends look like before I lift my hair up. This is no products, no nothing. So you can see a wave already. And I'm gonna flip my hair upside down. The way I do it is I just put my hands here and move it like this. So my hair, you can see some waves here, but I'm telling you, if I wouldn't do anything, it would not look as curly and as good as my hair usually looks like. You can already see so much frizz forming up. It's already drying up so quickly. It's not on its way to look the way I want it to and I need it to. So if your hair gets frizzy like this, if your hair looks anything like mine does, immediately when you come out of the shower, or even frizzier actually, because I mean keeping it in a microfiber towel does contain the frizz and does soak up all the water. If your hair looks anything like this, then you might, or you most definitely have curls or some sort of waves for sure. The first step, the most important step of reawakening your curls is to wet them. And before I completely wet my hair all over again, I want to section it. So first I'm going to section the parts that I'm going to do last. I'm going to leave this top section for the very end of my styling routine. You always want to start with the bottom. Let me just do another section starting from the top of the ears. Let's start with this bottom section. This is the water bottle that I use. I'm gonna be wetting these sections and I want to get them really, really wet, like soaking wet, because I need to reawaken these curls. Like there's no way I can put any gel or cream on these curls right now and reawaken them. However it's looking now, this is how it's gonna be looking dry, and this is not what I want. I go in with this hairbrush. This is the Tangle Teaser hairbrush. I use this mainly in the shower to detangle my hair. This is not going to be my styling brush, but it helps brush your hair when it's wet. So see, you can already see that the curls are getting their life back by wetting them. And by brushing this section after it's wet, it makes sure that it disperses the water throughout the hair. So now that the hair is wet, we're gonna be going in with a gel. I know that you can also use leave-in conditioners before, and I have this one from Curlsmith. The reason why I don't use leave-in conditioners or any creams, it's because even though it says lightweight, I've noticed that on my type of hair, anything that I put on top of a gel drags the curls down, stretches them so they don't look as curly and as springy and as tight as they can be. When I would use this leave-in conditioner is when I feel like my hair is really dry, if I damaged it with any certain hair dyes, when I feel like it really needs the conditioning moisture. I'm not going to be using this just because I'm a very simple girl, but I'm saying you do have a lot of options when it comes to, you know, bringing that shine back into your hair, and leave-in conditioners are a great option. And for the only step really that I do is basically I'm going to be using a hair gel, and these are two hair gels that I want to show you. This is the one that I always use, the Only Curls Enhancing Curl Gel with avocado and kukui oil, the fragrance-free version, and this is the Curlsmith fragrance-free Shine Jelly Frizz Control Lightweight. It's really important to find a really good hold gel. Most of the times you actually don't know that you have curls because the curls have nothing to hold them together in place in their clump families after you get out of the shower. Because when the hair is wet, the water makes them, you know, stick into their curl families. But if I leave this hair dry the way it is right now, or even so brush it and break these curls, then it's going to be looking really frizzy, really stringy, and you will never really know if you actually have curls. But what the gel does, it coats these curl families and it ensures that this shape, this curly shape, stays throughout the weeks. I want to say that finding a hair gel or any sort of leave-in conditioner, any sort of creams, it's kind of like trial and error, because it's like skincare. Not everything's going to work for everybody, and I want you to take your time and, you know, research your hair porosity, research the type of hair that you have, so that it's going to be a lot easier for you to figure out which products to buy. I'm gonna take some gel and I'm going to mix it in my hand and apply it directly on the root area, because I want to make sure that my whole hair gets that hold. And then I move on to the lower sections and I get a bit more and I put it at the ends. Do not forget the ends. Be generous with the gel. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this BounceCurl Define hairbrush. If you don't have it, I really recommend you try it, because it's definitely one of those products that can help you figure out how curly your hair can actually get because of these ridges on the side. What happens is the hair gets into these ridges, and because of the tension formed from these bristles, because you see there's a lot of bristles in here, it's going to, you know, when you have a ribbon and you really pull tight on it and it curls, this is what happens with curly hair as well. It needs tension for the curls to form. I could either use a hairbrush with no tension and just brush it out like this, and then, you know, this is the result. You don't really have much curl. Or I could get a hairbrush that is specifically designed to create tension. You can already see how much curlier it is and how these curls are getting back into their curl families, and it's going to look incredible when it's dry. So what I do, I just kind of take section by section and then I shake it to allow the curls to form, you know, like their own curl pattern. And it's honestly such a quick and easy way to style your hair. Shake, shake, shake. And then the next section. Shake, shake, shake. When you have a really good hairbrush, it can make hairstyling so much easier. And then you have the choice to scrunch. You don't really have to do it, to be fair. I've noticed that it's not much of a difference if I do scrunch or if I don't. What does make a good difference is to use a really good hold hair gel, a bunch of water, and the right tension hairbrush. And now we're going to be moving on to the next section. The same thing is going to happen that I just did. I'm going to split it into two, spray these sections, and use the magic hairbrush. Brush through gel and start styling it. A bit of a scrunch, and I'm moving on to this section. And you want to be hearing this type of sound when you scrunch. If you do, that's when you know that your hair is wet and it has enough product. You hear this scrunch? And this is how you want your hair to look like. Wet, minimal frizz, and you do not want to see any white parts from any, gels or creams. You want your product to be very well distributed. This is when I know that it's going to look well, because look how frizzy this top part already looks like. And look how nice, shiny, and defined this part looks like. So now we're gonna be moving on to the top section. And with this top section, I'm going to actually split it into 3. The way I'm going to be doing this is I'm gonna use these thumbs to hold it back and my fingers to kind of draw a triangle. So I'm gonna be pulling this section in the front, this section in front, and then you have this little back triangle, which is very important to style it separately than these, because if you separate it in the middle and you style it like this, right, then if I do that, my hair looks crazy from the back. I'm gonna wet the back. Do you see how dry it is already? Like, it's getting frizzy, there's absolutely no shape. Brushing it through ensures that the water reaches the ends really well. It starts to look all curly. And to actually hold that curl, we need our gel. Get your gel, make sure you put it on top and under the section and throughout. I'm guilty of sometimes missing the ends, and trust me, when the hair dries, you can really tell that you've missed the ends. Now, even this section, I kind of like split it, and I split it horizontally. These other sections, I all split them vertically, but for this, I kind of put my finger through and pull a horizontal section, because this hair at the back is just the easiest to style it like this, and it looks a lot nicer. See? And this is going to ensure that when you look at my hair from the back, it's going to look really nice. Now let's style the front sections. Through. And you want to make sure that your fronts, like these sections, have enough water, because usually these get really frizzy. Mine have a higher porosity, the ones in the front, so they get a lot frizzier. Then I take my gel, make sure I put a lot of it, and you're going to figure out yourself what is the best amount of gel. You just have to do some trial and error. But I make sure that I put enough, and then first I just take the whole section and I brush it through to disperse the gel throughout, and then I'm going to be taking vertical sections, like I said, because I only do horizontal sections in the back. You don't have to follow this rule, but this is just how I do it. And I brush it through, and I try to brush them away from the face on these front sections, just because I don't really like how it looks like when it's brushed towards the face. Like, if I do this angle, then the curls are going to curl towards the face. And you know, when you style your hair, when you use a curling iron, and when you style your curls towards the face, it just looks odd. This is exactly how it looks with curly hair as well. You want to make sure that you train your curls to curl away from the face. The way you use this hairbrush is very important, because it's going to determine how your hair dries as well. Like, for instance, if I want a really lifted look, then I'm going to be styling my hair like this, right? And then look at the volume that it is just created. However, this is not what I'm going for, because I like my hair quite flat, which is, I know, something that not a lot of people like. But to style it the way I like to style it, I still go like this, but then instead of pulling it up, I pull it down, and immediately the hair is trained to sit down. If you see any sections that are a bit frizzy, don't be shy to spray some water or to add a bit more gel to go back in. If it's frizzy when it's wet, it's going to be a lot frizzier when it's dry. So this is the section that we just left to the end, and this is how my hair would have dried. As you can see, it is really frizzy. There's honestly almost no definition at the top. You can see some curls, some curls forming at the bottom, if you can call them curls, but other than that, it's just extremely puffy. And this does not mean that I have to, you know, go to crazy lengths to make my hair curly. If I would have, you know, done this whole styling even just with water, it would have still looked a lot better than this, even just with a leave-in conditioner. But when you just let your hair dry in a towel and you put a lot of like tension with the towel, it's going to dry straight because it was kind of pulled in the towel, but it's still going to have the puffiness because it still wants to form some curls. And voila, the hair is all done. This is how much curl I can see at this point. There's still a lot of water in, and that's why hair looks so much more stretched. If you don't see a lot of curl, if you just see a small wave, let's wait until your hair is fully dry to see the real texture. It could be that you just have a wave. It could be that it's going to get a bit curlier. It could be that your hair is damaged and you're gonna have to give it a couple of months for it to get better, you know, give up the heat tools, give up the intense hair dyes. But yeah, this is how my hair looks like now. Fully styled, it's wet. And this is the hair diffuser that I use. This is the Dyson in hot pink. The more time the water is in my hair, I find it that my hair dries less curly because the longer the water is in my hair, it's going to keep it stretched for longer, which is why when I'm on holiday or when we, you know, go to hot countries, your hair looks curlier because of the how hot it is outside. It helps the hair dry faster, and when the water is expelled out of the hair faster, then the curls can spring up quicker, so then they dry curlier. The way I diffuse might be different than how other curly creators do. I just like a more elongated look to my curls, and I also like to ensure that my ends don't get damaged. And I feel like this kind of cupping method that I've seen so many people do is just putting unnecessary heat on the ends. If you do want to see how curly your hair can get, then this is a method that you could try. It's not something that might be good to do every single time, but if you make sure the heat is not too high, you can probably, you know, get away with using it all the time. And at the beginning, I'm just going to hover my diffuser all over my hair, and you're just gonna see my head shake in these positions because I don't want it to dry completely stuck to my head. I want there to be some sort of movement. And like I said, when the hair is wet, that's when it's most important to set its shape, and not only the shape of the curls, but the shape on how it's going to lay on your skull. Okay, so while I was drying my hair, it got super dark outside, so I just had to change positions and put a ring light. But I wanted to show you the results. My hair is not fully dry. It's only going to be fully dry tomorrow. But until then, I want to show you how my curls look like. Honestly, they've looked better, but they still look really beautiful. The only reason why I say that is because I went on holiday and my curls just haven't been the same since, because of all the water, all the sun exposure. But they're looking not so bad, you know? Like, you see how they're all forming into their own little curl family. These are the views from the back. The little visitor that came to say hello. He's so beautiful. So if you find yourself wondering if you have any sort of curl potential or wave potential, and you find that your hair is quite like straight, puffy or frizzy, then you can follow this routine and let me know in the comments if it's worked for you, if you've seen any sort of like wave or curl that you've never seen before. If you have any other, you know, product recommendations that you think I should be trying that you'd really like to see me test. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.